God's chosen ones. Understand this: nothing in your world is random. Every flicker of shadow, every sudden stir of wings, every tiny presence in your home is a coded signal from forces beyond human sight. Insects, often dismissed as trivial, are in truth spiritual messengers, moving in resonance with unseen energies that shape the flow of your destiny. The psalmist warns us, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Psalm 19:1. And even the most minute creatures, cockroaches, butterflies, ants play their part in this celestial orchestra. Have you noticed the sudden arrival of black butterflies on your windowsill at dawn? The relentless march of ants along your kitchen counter? Or cockroaches emerging from shadows where none should exist? What if these moments are not coincidences but warnings? Precise signals of energetic shifts only perceptible to those whose spirits are tuned to the divine frequency. Could ignoring them mean missing the exact moment when heaven seeks to intervene? These occurrences are far more than mundane. They are direct communications from the cosmos, pulsing with intention, vibrating with purpose. Since ancient times, cultures and sages have recognized insects as carriers of spiritual intelligence. Some herald transformation. Others carry urgent warnings of impending disruption. Isaiah reminds us, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 40:3-19. And this new thing often comes in forms we cannot initially comprehend. Repetition is key to deciphering these messages. A lone insect may pass unnoticed, but patterns, persistent and uncanny, are the language of the unseen. Cockroaches invading repeatedly, butterflies resting in the same corner at the same hour, ants tracing relentless paths across your thresholds. These are not random. The chronicler of Ecclesiastes exhorts us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Ecclesiastes 3:1. Yet only those who perceive the rhythm of these signs can navigate the season ahead. Are you blind to these coded pulses? Can your spirit discern what your eyes cannot? Each recurrence, each anomaly, is a spiritual semaphore, a divine tap on the shoulder, reminding you that destiny moves with precision and it moves through you. Insects respond to energy fluctuations far beyond ordinary human perception. Their presence is not idle, it is a vibrational alarm, signaling that something monumental is unfolding in your spiritual field. Brother Aelred, a 13th century monk devoted to contemplative prayer, recorded swarms of dragonflies appearing whenever profound spiritual shifts approached within his monastery. Modern psychological research echoes this. Dr. Leila Morales, a leading psychologist studying synchronicity, observed clients reporting cicadas and other insects appearing precisely at life-altering junctures, moments of transformation that intersected with breakthroughs. Could these creatures be the instruments of heaven itself, vibrating messages through channels invisible to the human eye? Each flutter, each unexpected landing, each persistent swarm is a call to attention, a sacred nudge. Your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. And the language is subtle yet insistent. Can you sense it? The invisible rhythm of your surroundings, the coded vibration that pushes your consciousness to awaken. Ignoring it is to stand deaf in the storm of destiny, blind to the signals that shape your future. Sacred architecture and art reveal similar principles. Maria Villeneuve, an expert in sacred geometry and cathedral energy fields, found that insects repeatedly gather around specific nodes in ancient churches and frescoes, aligning with energetic currents invisible to the human eye, Handel's oratorios. With each note building to climactic revelation, mirror the subtle, persistent messages insects deliver. What seems incidental carries immense significance. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. 1 Corinthians 13:12. Each recurring insect, each subtle pattern, is a fragment of this reflection, an echo of divine intent. Can you perceive the symphony beneath the ordinary, the hidden score in which every insect, every vibration, every anomaly plays its part? Awareness of these signals is a sacred responsibility, a duty reserved for the chosen ones who can recognize them and act. Among these messengers, the cockroach commands particular attention. Its repeated presence is never trivial. Dense, stagnant energy or spiritual turbulence often attracts them, signaling forces at work that must not be ignored. The psalmist affirms, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. Yet even the faithful must remain vigilant, for the journey of destiny is punctuated with subtle alarms. Will you heed these warnings or allow them to pass unnoticed? Their timing, frequency, and persistence are markers of approaching thresholds, doors in your spiritual life, opening to challenge, to insight, and to alignment. Ignoring them risks missing pivotal moments orchestrated by heaven itself. Each arrival is a pulse, a gentle pressure from the universe, commanding you to awaken. The hour for recognition and action is now, chosen ones. Do not wait for louder tremors or more dramatic interventions. Stand alert, stand focused, stand and claim the messages intended for you alone. The universe is speaking, and every insect is a divine messenger demanding attention. Your destiny beats in resonance with their arrival, with their persistence, with their silent insistence. Will you rise and answer the call? The signs are here. The timing is precise. The moment is yours. Rise and step into the path that heaven has carved, for your destiny will not wait. Few insects are as universally repulsive and yet as spiritually potent as cockroaches. They emerge from darkness with a terrifying persistence, inhabiting corners where light dares not linger, almost invincible, crawling with a silent, purposeful menace, yet for the chosen ones. These creatures carry a message far beyond mere hygiene or household disorder. On the spiritual plane, cockroaches act as living barometers of accumulated impurities, both physical and vibrational. Psalm 34:14 warns us, "Turn from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it." Yet how often do we ignore the subtle signs in our environment? The quiet alarms signaling that energy has grown dense, toxic, or misaligned. Their presence is not merely coincidental, it is a tangible manifestation of unseen forces pressing against your soul. A reminder that vigilance over spiritual integrity is non-negotiable. These creeping intruders compel awareness, demanding that even the chosen ones confront what they may have long ignored in their environment and spirit. Cockroaches are attracted to places saturated with negative energy, spaces where fatigue, discouragement, or draining presences have lowered your vibrational shield. Have you noticed their persistent emergence during times when your motivation wanes, when your spirit feels heavy, or when those around you seem to sap your vitality without effort. This is not coincidence. It is a direct reflection of energetic accumulation, a mirror of unseen forces pressing upon your life. The Apostle Paul said, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good," Romans 12:21, reminding us that vigilance over spiritual integrity is as essential as guarding the body. Cockroaches silently reveal what cannot yet be measured by the eye or felt by the heart, forcing the chosen ones to face the densest, most toxic energy in their lives. Their emergence is a spiritual litmus test. Will you rise, purify, and fortify? Or will you allow these vibrations to grow unchecked, eating away at your inner vitality and clarity? The manner in which cockroaches appear amplifies their message. A solitary cockroach may whisper a warning. Your energy needs attention. Your boundaries may be weak, or your self-care has faltered. But when cockroaches appear in groups, insistently, or at uncanny times, it is no longer a mere whisper. It is a clarion alarm that the DSE, dense spiritual energy, around you is intensifying, manifesting materially to force recognition. Can you sense this build-up before it overwhelms you? Proverbs 4:23 commands. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it, emphasizing that the chosen ones cannot afford to ignore these signals. Their repeated presence is a cosmic punctuation, a message hammered home by the universe that neglecting spiritual hygiene is perilous. The vibration around you becomes a living storm, and cockroaches are the first signs of lightning before thunder, warning you that action is not optional but vital. Nature itself provides clues to this unseen realm. Imagine a fungal bloom in a forest after prolonged rains, suddenly overtaking the leaf litter, a quiet yet unstoppable indicator that the ecosystem's balance has been disturbed. Similarly, cockroaches function as a fungal-like alarm, exposing where vibrational decay has taken hold. If you witness their sudden proliferation alongside spiders weaving webs in unexpected corners or ants marching with precision, it is a layered signal from the spiritual environment. What is unseen is shaping what is seen. Jeremiah Anamblas instructs, "Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is, and walk in it," revealing that these natural analogies are not mere coincidence but divine lessons in vigilance, discernment, and spiritual awareness. Ich Insektsbehavior, frequency, and placement is a coded language from the spirit realm, demanding comprehension beyond the ordinary toe. Biblical history reinforces this principle. Remember King David's enemies, like Doeg the Edomite, whose presence in Saul's court brought destruction unnoticed at first, only to explode into violence later. 1 Samuel 22. The energy that cockroaches reflect can be likened to unseen dogs in your environment, subtle, pervasive, and corrosive. Ignoring them risks escalating consequences, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Every persistent insect is a sentinel, warning you that cleansing must occur, that vigilance must be enforced. Leviticus 11:44 commands, "Be holy, because I am holy," reminding the chosen ones that purification is not optional, it is survival. Their persistent presence is a challenge from the universe, a test of readiness to reclaim territory over energies that threaten the sanctity of your spiritual domain. When cockroaches appear, action must be dual, physical and spiritual purification. Herbs such as rosemary, rue, and lavender, clear stagnation. But more crucially, disciplined meditation, prayer, and conscious separation from toxic presences fortify your vibrational armor. Psalm 91:11 says, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways," confirming that divine protection aligns with your own intentional steps. Are you merely waiting for chaos to fade? Or are you ready to cleanse, confront, and reclaim your energy? Each ritual, each step toward purification, restores authority to your spirit, aligning your personal space with divine law and heavenly order. It is no longer a question of comfort, but of survival, integrity, and destiny. And yet, cockroaches are not the only messengers. Spiders appearing in unexpected corners or at precise, repeating intervals carry deeper messages of strategy, entanglement, and the unseen threads of destiny being woven around you. Each insect, each pattern, is a piece of the divine puzzle, signaling what the eye cannot yet see and what the spirit must acknowledge. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, signaling that even pests have their appointed season. Are you awake to it? Their presence is a living scripture, written in movement, pattern, and persistence, challenging the chosen ones to read, interpret, and act decisively before the message escalates from caution to crisis. The warning is clear. Chosen ones, do not hesitate. Do not ignore the alarm. Rise, cleanse, shield, and claim your dominion over the invisible forces around you. Let the cockroaches serve as your call to action, the spiders as your guide to vigilance. The universe is speaking. The messengers are here, and your destiny will respond only if you act, stand, purify, and step fully into the energy that belongs to you. Your time is now. Every moment delayed is an invitation for dense energy to consolidate, to challenge, to obstruct. Stand, rise, and reclaim your spiritual throne with clarity, courage, and relentless focus. If there is one creature whose presence carries a profound and layered symbolism in the spiritual realm, it is the spider. Unlike cockroaches, which broadcast an accumulation of negative energy, spiders operate on a more sophisticated plane, signaling traps, karmic entanglements, and invisible snares designed to impede progress. Have you ever felt as though you are moving forward, yet constantly restrained by invisible threads, as if unseen hands tug at your momentum, holding your destiny in check? Ecclesiastes 8:14 reminds us, there is a vanity that takes place on earth, that there are righteous people to whom it happens according to the deeds of the wicked. This is exactly the subtle tyranny spiders warn about, forces that are not immediately obvious but systematically manipulate, ensnare, and restrict, demanding awareness and precision to navigate safely. Spiders are the architects of patience and strategy. Every silk thread they spin is a deliberate blueprint, a cosmic lattice capturing what is unguarded, waiting for the precise moment to strike. Their webs shimmer in hidden corners like encoded messages, vibrating with invisible energy. And their patience is a lesson in strategic vigilance. Ignoring these signs is equivalent to walking blindfolded through a labyrinth built of invisible threads that can halt your destiny at any turn. Have you noticed moments when life feels heavier for no reason? as if invisible hands are weighing down your spirit. Spiders are masters of energy manipulation, using the laws of tension and resonance to construct their webs, a concept not unlike the principles of structural engineering in sacred architecture, where balance and force distribution determine stability. In spiritual terms, these webs represent patterns, repetitive cycles, and karmic loops that entrap the chosen ones if left unrecognized. Have you noticed recurring situations that feel like déjà vu? Challenges that replicate endlessly, or relationships that seem secure yet drain your vitality silently? Romans 16:19 warns, "Be wise about what is good, and innocent about what is evil." Each appearance of a spider is a spiritual resonance, a vibrational signal indicating a disturbance in the unseen frequency of your life. Like the tension of a perfectly strung cable in a cathedral ceiling, these webs bear the weight of unseen forces. If a single thread snaps, the structure wavers. The spider teaches that subtle energy can determine the stability of an entire life, and the chosen ones must decode these vibrations before collapse occurs. Every thread ignored is a risk unaccounted for, a lesson delayed that may exact a heavier toll later. Do you sense the threads in your life that have gone unnoticed for too long, silently shaping your outcomes? The location of spiders carries potent meaning. If they appear in your bedroom, it may be a warning that your rest, dreams, and subconscious processes are being invaded, perhaps by worry, fear, or hidden influences seeking to hijack your potential. Matthew 6:34 teaches, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." But when spiders manifest at entrances or thresholds, the warning becomes about who and what is allowed to cross into your space. A single unwelcome presence can create a ripple, disturbing the resonance of your entire home. A single misplaced interaction, like an unsecured doorway in an energy field, can amplify disturbances and propagate them throughout your life. Each spider is a reminder that boundaries are not optional. They are the framework holding your spiritual architecture intact. On a real-world note, a neighbor once recounted noticing spiders increasingly appearing around his office, coinciding with co-workers undermining him subtly. This small observation became a catalyst for setting boundaries that restored both energy and authority over his own space, a tangible reminder that the lessons these creatures bring are practical, immediate, and actionable. In essence, the physical world mirrors the spiritual. Patterns repeat, signals appear, and vigilance determines survival. Spiritually, spiders are dual symbols of imprisonment and creation. They trap not only prey, but also the energies that stagnate within the environment. Their webs, delicate yet unyielding, are a metaphor for the tension between constraint and opportunity. Job 14:14 reminds us, "If someone dies, will they live again? All the days of my hard service, I will wait till my renewal comes." This renewal is possible only when you recognize the threads before they constrict, when you see the web as a structure requiring dismantling, not avoidance. Awareness is the key that allows the chosen ones to move freely between constraint and creation, to see each web as a puzzle rather than a prison. The intricate architecture of the web mirrors the unseen scaffolding of our lives. Without inspection, tension builds. With insight, liberation is imminent. Even the smallest vibration can reveal a thread that, once broken, changes the trajectory entirely. The chosen ones must approach this message with both discernment and courage, It is not merely about removing spiders physically, but an energetic intervention, cleansing the space, re-establishing boundaries, ending toxic cycles, and transforming limiting connections. 1 Peter 5-8 warns, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Each spider is a sentinel, a reminder that watchfulness is survival. Awareness transforms the threat into a tool for liberation. Once the web is seen and understood, it can be dismantled. Threads broken consciously, leaving only opportunity for strategic creation. Every deliberate act of clearing energy is a hammer blow against stagnation. Every boundary drawn a pillar erected in the invisible architecture of your destiny. Delay no longer. Hesitation strengthens the webs that would ensnare you. The everyday world holds reflections of this principle. A local artisan described how her small business was repeatedly sabotaged by the invisible politics of co-workers, until one day she visualized her workspace like a cathedral, analyzing the structural weaknesses and redesigning her interactions as one would a sacred architectural plan, carefully, intentionally, with vibrational harmony restored. She credits the seemingly mundane observation of spiders crawling in unexpected corners as a divine nudge to reclaim agency, proving that these spiritual messengers exist at the intersection of metaphysics and reality, of spirit and tangible action. The web is not merely a threat, it is a lesson in timing, strategy, and deliberate movement. Every thread, a message. Every presence, a test of awareness and courage. The chosen ones can turn surveillance into insight, obstacles into designs, and entrapments into springboards for ascension. The warning is both urgent and liberating. Chosen ones, do not ignore the webs appearing in your life. These threads may bind you, limit you, or obscure your path, but they also contain the blueprint for your transformation. Rise, dismantle, reclaim your space, and refuse to be immobilized. Stand with clarity, with courage, with deliberate action, and step beyond the invisible snares that have held you too long. Your liberation begins the moment you recognize the threads, trace them, and pull them apart with intention. Every thread removed strengthens your foundation. Every insight gained aligns your frequency, and every act of courage raises your vibration closer to divine orchestration. Stand, rise, and walk boldly into the freedom that is already ordained for you. Of all the creatures that dare to enter the sacred space of the chosen few, none carry a symbolism as potent, mysterious, and unsettling as the black butterfly. Unlike cockroaches, which signal accumulated negative energy, or spiders, which reveal hidden traps and karmic snares, the black butterfly arrives as a divine herald of inevitable change, both terrifying and liberating. Have you ever noticed a sudden flutter, an inexplicable shadow that stops your breath, only to feel your heart beating as if it knows a secret your mind has yet to comprehend? In Isaiah 43:19, it is written, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it?" This ancient promise resonates through every encounter with the black butterfly. It is never a coincidence. It is a celestial note struck at the precise frequency of your life's impending evolution. From European alchemists to the mystics of Egypt, this creature has been considered a bridge between worlds, a threshold where cycles end and transformation begins. urging the chosen ones to prepare for spiritual architecture far beyond the ordinary. Can you feel the weight of the invisible threshold you are about to cross? The emotional resonance upon seeing a black butterfly is just as revealing as its physical presence. If it stirs fear, dread, or inexplicable anxiety, this is a clear signal that something in your life is resisting closure, a doorway not yet accepted, but demanding passage. Philippians 3:13-14 reminds us, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Fear signals unfinished cycles, relationships, or circumstances whose energy you are unknowingly tethered to, draining your spiritual potential. Conversely, if the encounter evokes curiosity, fascination, or peace, it signals that transformation, though intense, is both necessary and ultimately liberating. Even classical music has whispered this truth. In J.W.S. Bach's St. Matthew Passion, sudden dissonances resolve into majestic harmonies, reflecting life's tension before the emergence of divine clarity, a parallel to the butterfly's visit. Are you resisting a necessary transition because of comfort, nostalgia, or fear of the unknown? Timing is essential. Observe when the black butterfly appears. During phases of uncertainty, doubt, or emotional turbulence, this insect is not a random intruder, but a messenger confirming the inevitability of change. The universe communicates in rhythms, like the hidden lines in the vaulted ceilings of Gothic cathedrals, where every beam and arch distributes weight, invisibly yet purposefully. Ecclesiastes 3:1-2 states, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted." Clinging to what no longer serves you is like ignoring the structural integrity of a cathedral. Eventually, the weight will collapse, walls you thought were permanent. A contemporary entrepreneur, Marisa Leone, shares that after noticing black butterflies repeatedly near her studio, she re-evaluated toxic business partnerships, finding clarity that allowed her to realign her career with her soul's true purpose, illustrating how spiritual signs manifest tangibly in the physical world. What illusions of permanence are holding you back? Even as change approaches, the black butterfly also pierces the veil between worlds, opening channels to spiritual guides, ancestors, or divine wisdom. Many who have encountered it report intensified dreams, visions, or an uncanny awareness of unseen presences, as if a gentle hand brushes the shoulder of the soul. Psalm 16:7 affirms, "I will bless the Lord, who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons." Artists and theologians throughout history have echoed this liminality. The painter Francisco de Zurbarán often depicted angelic presences descending in shadowed corners, a visual hymn to the liminal spaces where the divine whispers. The black butterfly is the architect of these liminal intersections, reminding the chosen ones that even endings carry the seeds of creation, and that death of a cycle, not the body, is often the true message. Have you sensed the silent architects around you, shaping your life while remaining unseen? For the chosen ones, reflection and action must follow recognition. Contemplate what in your life must be transformed, released, or left behind. relationships that drain rather than uplift, habits that constrain rather than empower, and fears that inhibit rather than liberate. Revelation 21:5 assures, "Behold, I make all things new." A black butterfly's presence is both invitation and admonition. Step boldly into transformation. Trust the unknown and honor the cycles ending around you. Spirituelle évolution de mon courage. Rise above hesitation. Step into the void and claim the freedom awaiting beyond your fears. Even hymns sung centuries ago, like Handel's Messiah, remind us that every transition, no matter how unsettling, ushers in exalted grace. Comment your reflections and insights. Share your experience, and take the first step to align with this sacred cycle. Stand now, for hesitation only strengthens the threads that seek to bind you. And rise, for your liberation is already orchestrated by the divine. Flies, tiny, seemingly insignificant creatures that most would dismiss as mere nuisances. Yet for the chosen ones, they are ominous, heralds of contamination and spiritual decay, unlike the black butterfly, whose visitation signals transformation, or the spider, whose webs indicate hidden traps in the unseen realm. Flies carry a more urgent, insistent message. They are drawn to waste, filth, and decay in the physical world, but in the spiritual dimension, their attraction is mirrored. They swarm around what is rotten, unseen, and corrosive in the soul and home. Have you noticed how their presence seems to ignore cleanliness? How they appear persistently even when everything seems in order? Proverbs 4:23 warns, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Just as the heart can harbor decay unnoticed, so too can your environment be saturated with invisible toxicity that these insects instinctively sense. For the chosen ones, repeated fly appearances are never random, they are alarms. Sometimes subtle, sometimes screaming. The danger lurks in energies unseen. Even when the home feels peaceful, these tiny invaders may herald a spiritual storm, reminding you that what is invisible can strike as powerfully as what is visible. The persistent drone of their wings seems almost like a whisper from the spirit realm, drawing attention to the overlooked corners of your life. The first factor to observe is your inner state. Have you been unusually fatigued, irritable, or mentally overwhelmed? The insistent presence of flies may mirror the accumulated emotional and spiritual burden you carry. James 4:7 reminds us, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." These creatures are reflecting dense energies, acting as mirrors to the spiritual turbulence that surrounds and penetrates you. A contemporary motivational speaker, Elijah Torres, recounts how flies repeatedly appeared around his meditation room during a period of hidden envy from colleagues, prompting him to initiate daily spiritual cleansing rituals and ultimately gain clarity and protection. Can you feel the subtle currents of envy or ill intent that hover around your life? Unnoticed yet persistent. When we ignore these subtle signs, the spiritual weight can manifest physically, draining energy and obscuring discernment. The flies are like living barometers, silently registering what your conscious mind refuses to notice. Next, the environment itself conflicts, quarrels, and unexplained tensions can attract these harbingers. If arguments have filled the halls of your home or workplace, if unresolved disputes linger, this dense energy becomes a feeding ground for spiritual parasites. Matthew 12:43-44 states, "When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he said, I will return to my house from whence I came out." The flies are not merely insects, they signal that negative energy is swirling, seeking a foothold, feeding off vulnerability and disharmony. Do you notice patterns in your surroundings that consistently draw discomfort or conflict like magnets? The invisible can be more dangerous than the visible, and these tiny invaders are messengers of what you cannot yet see, even subtler. Everyday friction can act as a beacon, calling these insects to manifest physically. The lesson is clear: calm the storm within, and the swarm outside will diminish. Another critical factor is the presence of charged individuals entering your space. Some people carry energies so dense, so heavy, that they leave residual trails of influence wherever they go. The flies detect and respond to these currents, acting as a barometer of spiritual intrusion. Psalm 4:3 affirms, "The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them." Even when you are unaware, your spirit is being tested. The flies indicate where vigilance is needed. Flies can also signify a more alarming scenario. Negative entities or spiritual opportunists are feeding off your energy, taking advantage of a lapse in your spiritual defenses. A composer of sacred European choral music, Arvo Pärt, once described moments during performances when unexpected disturbances seem to resonate with invisible presences, teaching him to attune to both the seen and unseen energies that influence the sacred space. Are you aware of what energies are being drawn to you? Whether human, spiritual, or environmental. When the presence of these creatures persists, despite protective efforts, it is often a spiritual wake-up call, urging immediate action to safeguard your sanctity. Finally, when all physical efforts fail, cleaning, blocking, or shooing the persistent appearance of flies is a direct call for spiritual attention. Ephesians 6:11-12 instruct, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers." Now is the time to reinforce protective measures, cleansing prayers, smudging with sacred smoke, and rituals that strengthen your energetic perimeter. Acts 19:11-12 recounts miracles through divine intervention, demonstrating that even invisible forces respond to focused spiritual action. Can you sense the moment when inaction allows toxicity to persist and intervention becomes urgent? This is also a time to reconnect with your spiritual guides and ancestors, seeking their insight and protection in the unseen realm. The flies are like living messengers of the veil between worlds, signaling that the boundary is thin and requires attention. The chosen ones. Your vigilance is required. The flies are not trivial. They are messengers of hidden decay and urgent transformation, and their appearance demands both reflection and action. Stand now. Strengthen your spiritual boundaries. Cleanse your space and mind. Rise above vulnerability. Romains 12:2 exhort. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is your call to take dominion over unseen energies, to act decisively, and to reclaim the sanctity of your environment and soul. The warning is not to incite fear, but to awaken action. Spiritual empowerment begins when vigilance meets courage? Do you have the clarity and strength to act before the unseen becomes overwhelming? Ants, tiny, seemingly harmless creatures that scuttle across floors and walls in search of food. Yet for the chosen ones, their presence is no accident, nor trivial nuisance. Unlike flies, which reveal spiritual contamination and decay, ants signify deliberate, organized, monitoring and invisible espionage, attempting to drain your energy without your awareness. Have you noticed these small sentinels invading personal spaces, your corners of furniture, objects you touch daily, or even the edges of your bed? Where your energy is most intimate and vulnerable, Proverbs 27:23 instructs, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds." In the same way, vigilance over what seems trivial, these tiny intruders, is required. Ants symbolize meticulous organization and an interconnected network, mirroring the spiritual tactics of those who would watch, control, and limit your potential. Just as an anthill functions with precise coordination, so too can unseen forces coordinate efforts against you, weaving webs of observation that quietly leach vitality and willpower. The chosen ones report these invasions often coincide with pivotal moments of decision-making or spiritual transitions, moments when your energy is most potent and most at risk. Their sudden appearance is not merely coincidence. In the spiritual realm, ants can represent a network of surveillance, subtle yet relentless, connecting to you through others' envy, unnoticed energetic interference, or even spells and curses. James 3:16 warns, "For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work." Modern entrepreneur and philanthropist Elena Rodriguez shared how she experienced a series of inexplicable ant invasions in her study during a period when competitors attempted to sabotage her ventures. By the time she performed spiritual cleansing, including prayer and smudging with rosemary, she realized the ants were mirroring the intent of those who wanted her stifled and distracted. Can you feel the invisible currents in your environment? The quiet attempts to limit your momentum and obscure your clarity. Just as a deer senses predators through the rustle of leaves before seeing them, these creatures act as indicators of hidden threats, alerting you to energies that might otherwise pass unnoticed. Ants appearing in persistent, unusual locations can also signal charged environments or objects with strange energies, remnants of those who came before, or even the residue of spiritual interferences left by others' ill intent. Psalm 91:11 states, "For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways." These insects are, in essence, biological mirrors of spiritual espionage, showing where your energy is being monitored or siphoned. Even trees in the forest, with their vast root networks communicating below the surface, can be analogies to this. What is unseen beneath often determines what appears above. The same way the spiritual world operates around the chosen ones. Have you noticed that when these ants arrive, your concentration feels heavier, your decision delayed, or your peace subtly disturbed? These are messages encoded in movement and presence, calling for immediate action. Moreover, just as predators in nature carefully observe the most vulnerable moments of their prey, there are human and spiritual adversaries who exploit lapses in your attention. One historical example is Cardinal Matteo Ricci, a Jesuit missionary, who recorded subtle spiritual disturbances in his quarters that mirrored hidden rivalries and envy within his own order. The result was tension that delayed key missions and caused prolonged spiritual fatigue. Could ants, in your own home, be the physical manifestation of such covert interference, silently chronicling your movements and subtly feeding off your focus and vitality? 1 Peter 5-8 exhorts. Be sober. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Even the most innocuous seeming insects may signal the presence of unseen predators, urging the chosen ones to close spiritual gaps and reinforce protective boundaries. To counter this invisible monitoring and energy drain, physical cleaning alone is not enough. Spiritual cleansing is paramount. Burning purification herbs such as rosemary and rue, engaging in focused prayer, and maintaining elevated energy are essential. Ephesians 6:12 reminds, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. Each action strengthens your energetic perimeter and closes vulnerabilities that could be exploited by spiritual forces or envious humans alike. Just as ants meticulously construct tunnels for access and surveillance, so too can negative forces exploit lapses in vigilance. Closing these gaps ensures your progress remains unhindered. Can you sense the persistent pull on your vitality? Subtle yet insistent. And respond with deliberate measures to protect your sanctity. The chosen ones. These small insects are far more than harmless pests. They are warning signs, messengers of observation, and mirrors of vulnerability. Stand now. Reinforce your spiritual defenses. Cleanse both your space and mind, and claim the energy that is rightfully yours. Romans 13:12 exhort. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. This is the call to awaken your vigilance. Rise above unseen espionage, and refuse to be quietly drained. The time for passive observation has passed. Your energy, your decisions, and your destiny demand that you rise and reclaim your sovereignty. Signs, they are omnipresent, delicate threads weaving through the fabric of reality, yet most fail to perceive them in their immediacy. For the chosen ones, however, coincidence is a myth. Every fluttering black butterfly, every scuttling spider, every cockroach, scorpion, fly, or ant that repeatedly appears in your home is a cryptic signal, a coded message from the spiritual architecture surrounding you. Are these mere insects, or are they vibrational markers of unseen currents, highlighting distortions in the cosmic field around you? Jeremiah 33:3 whispers, call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things, which thou knowest not. When these entities manifest repeatedly, they may indicate energetic imbalance, spiritual intrusion, or warnings cloaked as ordinary events, resonating like echoes through the cathedral of your own consciousness, reminding you that the universe communicates in frequencies far subtler than mere sight or sound. Just as architects design cathedrals to guide light into precise sacred patterns, so too does the universe guide signs to intersect with your perception at exactly the right moment. Every subtle movement, every shift in pattern, even the quietest vibrations in your home can carry profound significance. Like microcurrents shaping the course of a river through unseen channels. The question is, are you attuned enough to recognize the symphony of messages around you? The presence of these insects is not random, but a reflection of your energetic state. Are your thoughts heavy with unresolved tension, absorbing low-frequency vibrations from those around you? Are toxic environments or relationships subtly modulating your aura, causing resonance mismatches that manifest as external phenomena? Ezekiel 36:26 reminds, "A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you." Physical cleansing alone is insufficient. Spiritual hygiene is equally paramount. Practices such as energy baths, incense prayers, or raising your vibration through conscious intention operate like tuning a radio to a higher frequency, recalibrating your personal field to repel negative energies and align with divine resonance. Even simple daily rituals, often overlooked by ordinary minds, can reinforce your spiritual latticework, making the invisible currents visible through subtle, consistent shifts in awareness. Observing patterns over days, weeks, or months allows you to discern not just momentary disturbances, but long-term energetic trends, guiding you to actions that harmonize body, mind, and spirit. Some real-life accounts echo this cosmic pattern. Emily, a schoolteacher from Oregon, noticed that whenever she faced pivotal choices about her career or personal growth, black butterflies began appearing near her windows, fluttering in precise intervals that mirrored the beats of her own heart. She reported that ignoring them led to indecision and anxiety, but acknowledging and aligning her actions with these signals resulted in unexpected promotions and breakthroughs. Matthew 10:29-31 states, "Are not two sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father?" The universe does not neglect the small details. Each minor vibration, each seemingly trivial sign, is recorded and reflected in the outcomes of your choices. Could the insects be messengers of divine orchestration, subtly guiding your decisions without ever forcing them? Do you notice patterns forming in the mundane that carry profound implications for your destiny? Every morning, every pause between your breaths may contain the universe whispering instructions, waiting for your awareness to catch up. Furthermore, spiritual signals often mimic ordinary events, blending seamlessly with the physical world. Much like microtremors ripple through tectonic plates before an earthquake, like predators in the savannah blending into shadows. Subtle energy shifts, environmental imbalances, or latent spiritual currents can generate patterns that attract these insects, signaling disturbance in your vibrational harmony. Proverbs 4:23 teaches, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Observing repeated insect appearances becomes a strategic diagnostic tool, a way to detect vulnerabilities in your energetic field before they escalate. Even the laws of physics provide a metaphor. Disturbances in one part of a system propagate waves across the entire structure. Energy is never isolated. Negative or misaligned charges resonate, ripple, and manifest externally if not corrected. Like light refracting through a prism, your awareness can disperse and decode the hidden spectrum of messages embedded in everyday life. The call to action is clear and unavoidable. You must maintain both physical and spiritual vigilance, strengthen your energetic boundaries, and consciously elevate your frequency. Clean your home, purify your spaces, and practice energetic rituals with the intentionality of a physicist adjusting parameters in a delicate experiment, or an architect reinforcing the keystone in a cathedral. Isaiah 54:17 affirms, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn." Remember, the chosen ones are constantly tested and observed, but with awareness, discipline, and the courage to act, you hold immense power to reshape your reality, transform challenges into divine alignment, and neutralize subtle disturbances. Stand now. Rise in the authority granted to you. Claim your right to move unimpeded through the fabric of creation. Every sign, every vibration, every fluttering wing is a summons to awaken, align, and embrace the destiny that is uniquely yours. Let the universe know that your spirit is alert, resilient, and unshakable, radiating clarity, discernment, and divine resonance. Now that the signs have revealed themselves and you understand the vibrations echoing through your environment, the question becomes not if, but when you will act. The universe does not whisper aimlessly. It does not sprinkle butterflies, scorpions, or black ants into your path without intention. Matthew 7:7 reminds us, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Each insect, each repeated manifestation is a celestial semaphore, a coded message urging you to intercept, decode, and respond. Are you merely drifting through the currents of life? Or are you ready to align your energy with the blueprint of your purpose? Ezekiel 37:14 declares, "I will put my spirit in you, and ye shall live," emphasizing that the power to awaken, to move, to shift the unseen architectures of reality resides within you. The universe's call is precise. It seeks active engagement, not passive observation. Every fluttering wing, every silent crawl, every ripple of energy in your home is a note in a divine choreography, reminiscent of the solemn cadence in Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall or the ethereal staging of Jean-Baptiste Lully's court ballets, where every movement, shadow, and line conveys deeper layers of hidden meaning, echoing heaven's intentions. Even the spaces between these signs, the pauses, the silences are charged with frequency, like the hidden harmonics of a sacred organ, signaling that your attention is a form of prayer and your response is a form of co-creation. Can you feel the subtle vibration of destiny pressing against the walls of your ordinary day? Every unnoticed sign is a potential doorway, every ignored ripple a lost opportunity for transformation. Spiritual protection is not a mere shield against negative forces. It is an intricate architecture of resonance, frequency, and alignment. Strengthening the positive is as critical as dispelling the negative. Proverbs 3:6 Urges. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths, highlighting that your decisions, your awareness, and your intent are instruments of divine law in action, connecting deeply with your essence, fortifying faith, and maintaining practices that elevate your vibration are equivalent to reinforcing the keystone of a cathedral, stabilizing the structure of your soul against unseen pressures. Are your thoughts harmonizing with your destiny, or are they scattering your energy into chaotic currents? Are your daily rituals, prayers, meditative pauses, energy cleansing, synchronizing with the divine cadence like the layered symbolism in Giotto's frescoes of the Scrovegni Chapel, where every color and contour guides the viewer's spirit. Can you sense the subtle feedback loops between your spirit and the universe? Or are they fading into background noise? Even the rhythm of your breath becomes a tuning fork for your energy field, adjusting the resonance of your aura to either amplify protection or invite interference. The spaces you inhabit, the objects you touch, the energy you allow in, they all participate in this sacred frequency network. And your conscious alignment can turn ordinary life into an extraordinary conduit of divine will. Real-life stories echo these cosmic truths. David, a sculptor from Florence, discovered that whenever he was about to make transformative choices, a series of spiders appeared in his workshop, weaving webs in patterns that mirrored his inner doubts and fears. Only when he honored these signs, aligning his energy through silent contemplation and structured rituals, did his sculptures receive international acclaim. Similarly, theologians have long noted that the signs of God are encoded in the natural and mundane, visible only to those attuned to higher frequencies. Romains 12 contre 2 exhort, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind," reminding us that transformation is not passive. It requires deliberate engagement with the signals surrounding you. Even in sacred literature, one finds resonance. The mystic poetry of John Donne, the moral architecture in Dante's Divine Comedy, and the solemn staging of Euripides' Hippolytus illustrate how subtle structures of light, sound, and word can guide the soul toward higher understanding. Much like the universe sends its coded signals to the attentive, every choice, every hesitation, every micro-decision resonates through the energetic lattice of your life. And those who awaken to these frequencies find that even the subtlest intention carries monumental consequences, shaping destinies far beyond what the mind can immediately perceive. The most crucial truth remains: you have the power to change your reality. No dense energy can strike you if you are vibrating high enough. No attack, spiritual or emotional, can knock you down if your resonance is aligned with divine purpose. No obstacle, whether material or subtle, can impede your progress if you are aware of your own strength, clarity, and alignment. Isaías 50:4 contra 17 declares, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn." The signs are everywhere, the instruments are in place, the vibrations are sending their signals, but few pay attention. For the chosen ones, nothing is random, nothing slips by unnoticed, and every subtle ripple carries the weight of eternity. Can you hear it? Can you rise and answer the call that no one else perceives? This is the moment to stand, to align, to act, to resonate with the universe itself, becoming a force that reshapes your destiny and illuminates your path. Rise now, chosen one, and let your spirit be the keystone of your reality, the conductor of your own symphony, and the beacon of a divine plan only you can manifest. The universe awaits your resonance, and eternity itself leans forward in anticipation of your awakening. The chosen ones, beware, the universe is not silent, and the signs it sends are rarely mere coincidence. When black butterflies appear fluttering through your home with an unsettling persistence, when spiders weave webs in corners with uncanny precision, when cockroaches seem to march with deliberate intent, these are not trivial occurrences, they are alarms from the spiritual realm. messages woven into your daily life like coded signals in the architecture of heaven itself. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. 1 Peter 5-8. Yet how often do we ignore these whispers, failing to sense the invisible battlefield that surrounds our very existence? In Exodus 12:23, the Lord promised protection for the faithful, and still, He sent plagues as signs of His power and warning. Are you attentive enough to recognize when the patterns of nature themselves are acting as heralds of divine instruction? King David faced enemies whose strategies were masked under ordinary circumstances, yet through steadfast vigilance and attuned discernment, he recognized the forces at play, illustrating that the spiritual and the material are not separate but interlaced with the resonance of fate and the blueprint of destiny. The words of Sister Clara, a modern-day visionary and spiritual guide from Lisbon, who recounted how swarms of ants appeared in her study for days on end before a pivotal decision regarding her ministry. She recognized that these small invaders were not random, but were echoing a spiritual interference attempting to disorient her focus. And through prayer, cleansing rituals, and meditation on Psalm 91 5-6, she fortified her field, transforming potential chaos into clarity and strength. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. And yet, even the bravest hearts can falter if they remain blind to the subtle cues woven into their environment. Here lies the profound question for every chosen soul. How attuned is your perception to the unseen frequency of reality, the invisible architecture that scaffolds your destiny? When do you acknowledge that a simple fly crossing your path might be the herald of a spiritual obstacle, a test of faith, or a challenge to realign with divine order? Classical European masterpieces whisper this truth. In J.S. Bach's Mass in B minor, the intricate fugues interweave counterpoints like threads of fate and vigilance, illustrating through sound what the angels might have choreographed in the ether. Every small disturbance, every tiny agent, carries meaning in the symphony of destiny. And when scorpions appear at the edge of your space, or black spiders lurk where light barely reaches, it is the universe speaking in a language older than words, calling you to awaken and rise to your appointed place. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. To ignore this is to risk walking blind through a war zone, unaware that the smallest creatures might signal attacks upon your life's trajectory, the subtle energies that seek to shift your destiny off course. It is time to act. Align your energy, shield your essence, fortify your spiritual armor, and remain unwavering in the light that courses through you. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. Stand up, chosen ones. Let no swarm, no creeping shadow, no insect born of intent and warning deter you from the path set by the Creator. The universe speaks, and your destiny is calling. Attune, awaken, and rise with vigilance and unyielding faith. For your journey is sacred, and your mission is immortal. The chosen ones. The truth behind each insect is far more than a random nuisance. It is a coded language of the universe, a divine Morse code delivered through the smallest agents in your environment. A black ant crawling with meticulous persistence across your windowsill might not simply be seeking crumbs, it could be a whisper of vigilance, a signal to fortify your personal boundaries, echoing, "Behold, I have given you authority over all the power of the enemy," Luke 10:19, reminding you that even the tiniest creatures can carry the weight of spiritual warnings. A solitary spider spinning its web in the far corner may mirror the web of intrigue being silently spun around your destiny, much like the scheming of Haman against Mordecai in Esther 3:1-6, revealing that seemingly ordinary events often conceal divine orchestration, calling you to discern, to anticipate, to protect what God has entrusted to you. In Job 5:12, we learn that the Lord thwarts the plans of the crafty. Yet will you perceive when an insect is the earthly herald of that very craftiness? Each fluttering wing, each silent scuttle, resonates as a beat in the cosmic rhythm, as if the universe itself were whispering. Your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it," Isaiah 30:21, guiding the chosen ones through a labyrinth of subtle forces. Even the faintest rustle along the walls might hint at hidden energies or unseen influences attempting to redirect your focus, demanding your spiritual attentiveness and clarity of perception. The challenge is not merely to see, but to interpret, to hear beyond the ordinary, to understand the extraordinary in what others dismiss as trivial. Nature provides mirrors to these hidden messages. The way a willow bends in the wind, flexible yet unbroken, teaching resilience in the face of the smallest disruptions. The hermit crab, carrying its shell like a fortress, illustrates the spiritual armor you must cultivate when invisible forces press against your life. And then there is the unexpected predator, Samuel, a wildlife conservationist from Kenya, once recounted how a colony of army ants appeared around his campsite, seemingly harmless at first. But their relentless march mirrored the insidious encroachments of a former colleague who had attempted to sabotage his sanctuary. The ants, like the colleague's subtle manipulations, threatened to overwhelm his careful work. Yet by observing, respecting, and acting with strategic precision, he preserved both his life's mission and his peace of mind. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. Proverbs 21:31. Beyond this, Samuel realized that the natural world communicates in rhythms and patterns that echo divine justice, and that a keen, spiritual awareness transforms every ordinary sign into a sacred guidepost for decision-making. Are you attuned enough to notice these rhythms in your own life? Or do they slip past while you remain distracted by the mundane? The tiniest black beetle crossing your threshold may be a harbinger of challenges to your spiritual clarity, a test of your alignment with divine purpose. The universe speaks through analogies in creation: branches bending under snow, rivers carving paths through rock over centuries, bees orchestrating their hive with mathematical precision. Each carries a lesson: vigilance, persistence, unity, harmony, and just as the fox is cunning in fables, deceiving the unobservant, so too do some adversaries lurk around your destiny, unseen and patient. Father Thomas, a European priest and historian of sacred architecture, recalls how insects appearing near sacred relics often signaled moments of spiritual attack, reminding the faithful that divine guidance can manifest through the minutest elements of creation, and that discernment is the shield that protects what is most sacred. The eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is perfect toward him. 2 Chronicles 16-9. In these moments, it becomes clear that nothing in the physical realm is insignificant. Each creature, each subtle movement, is a potential messenger, a test, a wake-up call. Can you rise to meet the message before the opportunity slips? Or will your destiny be reshaped without your conscious intervention? Now is the moment to awaken. Align with the whispers of nature, the coded signals of the universe, and the unseen patterns of divine orchestration. Protect your essence, strengthen your spiritual perception, and fortify your boundaries. For the chosen ones are never accidental, and every insect, every subtle presence, carries a message for those willing to see. Stand up, walk in vigilance, rise with clarity, and let no hidden force, no crawling or flying messenger, divert you from the path that heaven has inscribed upon your soul. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. Deuteronomy 20-4. Every moment of awareness, every act of spiritual alignment, is a declaration that you will not be derailed. The universe is calling. Will you answer? Or will you sleep through the signs that were placed before you? Today, rise and claim the clarity, protection, and destiny that have always been yours. For the smallest agents of creation may be the loudest messengers of your divine journey. Chosen ones, the arrival of certain insects into your space is never coincidental. It is a coded signal, a subtle vibration in the fabric of your destiny that even the most acute mind may miss. When a lone beetle crosses the threshold at dawn, it is not merely a creature moving with instinct. It mirrors the intricate frequency of spiritual resonance surrounding your life. As if the very laws of physics conspire to alert you. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Psalm 37-23 illuminates that these seemingly small intrusions are actually divine markers, warning that unseen forces might be testing the stability of your path. Have you noticed the rhythm of these small visitors? Their precise and repetitive movement, echoing the pattern of celestial architecture, where every pillar and arch in heaven balances with perfect harmony. When cockroaches appear suddenly, not as nuisances, but as anomalies in the expected environment, they may signal hidden agendas or forces attempting to unbalance your focus. Reminiscent of Pharaoh's plagues in Exodus 8:16-18. Warning that spiritual alignment is the only shield against escalating pressures. The scuttling of insects may seem insignificant, yet these moments carry the weight of "The Lord sees the righteous and watches over all their paths." Proverbs 5:21. Urging you to recognize the spiritual algorithms interwoven with the material world. Even the smallest ant might be transmitting more than movement. It conveys a frequency, a resonance that, if decoded properly, aligns you with your ultimate purpose and protects you from unseen derailments. In nature, there is a blueprint for vigilance. The shifting leaves of a sycamore tree, oscillating in precise harmony with the wind, exemplify the resonance of protective barriers, reflecting what every chosen one must cultivate within: adaptability and perceptive awareness. Dr. Emilia Hart, a neuropsychologist specializing in environmental stimuli from Sweden, recounts how, during her childhood, repeated appearances of ladybugs around her study desk coincided with critical moments of decision-making. guiding her focus subconsciously toward choices that later defined her career. Just as ladybugs signaled alignment in her life, these insects act as natural markers, encoding lessons in spatial cognition, timing, and frequency perception. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Suggesting that awareness of such signs is intertwined with the divine plan. Could the rhythmic flutter of a moth against your window be more than coincidence, a subtle nudge towards strategic awareness? A cue to synchronize your actions with higher laws of resonance and causality. Even in ancient biblical battles, such as Gideon's campaign in Judges 7:20-22, unconventional signs determined victory. The smallest agents, carefully observed and interpreted, dictated the outcome. Are you attuned to the microcosm within your space? Or are these celestial cues slipping silently past? Unnoticed, hidden adversaries often exploit the unnoticed. A spider weaving silently in the corner may represent forces scheming beyond immediate perception. Hecho Judas betrayal, Matthew 26, contra 14:16, where hidden intent collided with destiny. Architects of divine strategy are often invisible, manifesting subtly like insects in your environment, requiring the chosen ones to perceive frequencies of intention, patterns of movement, and resonances that ordinary observers dismiss. Consider Marcus, a lighthouse keeper from Nova Scotia, whose nightly observations revealed unusual insect swarms that, once studied, predicted sudden storms along the coast. His acute observation of patterns not only saved lives, but aligned with principles of harmonic resonance. The environment communicates constantly, and the chosen must learn to decode it. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27:12 underscores that ignoring these subtle frequencies invites disruption, whereas those attuned to minute indicators fortify their destiny. In the unseen battlefield of spiritual, mental, and emotional domains, recognizing the warning signals encoded in the smallest movements can be the difference between triumph and derailment. Are you prepared to perceive these signals, to calibrate your spiritual senses to the resonance of destiny itself? Or will you allow distraction and complacency to blind you? Rise. Chosen ones, align your perception, calibrate your senses, and synchronize your actions with the subtle frequencies of divine orchestration. For every insect, every shift in the microcosm around you carries a coded message. Strengthen your spiritual infrastructure, as precise and unyielding as a Gothic cathedral, where each buttress and arch supports the sanctity within. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1-9. Let this be the drumbeat to your vigilance. Stand now, protect your destiny, and let no crawling or flying agent of chance disrupt the orchestration of your divine path. Every observed signal is a key, every decoded frequency a shield, and every moment of attention a declaration that your path is sacred and inviolable. Today, rise with discernment, rise with courage. Rise and claim the victory that heaven has already mapped for you. The universe speaks. Are you ready to listen? Chosen ones. When a swarm of gnats or midges appears suddenly in your home or workplace, it is not random chaos. It is the ripple of spiritual turbulence aimed at testing the fortitude of your destiny. Each fluttering wing vibrates at a frequency you cannot see but your spirit can detect. Like the hidden oscillations in the cosmic fabric of reality, behold, I send an angel before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Exodus 23:20 whispers that even the smallest intruder can carry messages from heaven, or warnings from forces seeking to distract you from your path. Have you noticed how these tiny invaders appear precisely during moments of indecision or spiritual fatigue? The flight pattern of a gnat can mimic the subtle geometry of heavenly architecture, reminding you that your surroundings are a living diagram of alignment and resonance, echoing the principle that the Lord your God is in the midst of you, a mighty one who will save. Zephaniah 3:17. In the same way that David observed God's guidance when facing Goliath, 1 Samuel 17:37, your attention to these micro-signals can reveal threats or opportunities hidden from ordinary perception. In nature, insects like the midges respond to micro-changes in humidity, light, and air pressure, reflecting the hidden laws of physics and frequency laws that also govern spiritual currents. Father Matteo, a missionary in Italy, recalled how persistent appearances of dragonflies in his garden signaled unexpected arrivals of travelers seeking guidance. These tiny visitors became markers for divine appointments, resonating with the harmonic patterns of life. The Lord also says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight," 2 Corinthians 5-7. Reminding that the unseen currents carry purpose. Could these subtle vibrations be akin to a symphony's overture, where each note, each insect's motion, signals a crescendo of destiny about to unfold? Every ripple, every small disturbance, when observed with discernment, encode lessons about vigilance, timing, and spiritual resonance. Beware the deceptive serenity of silence, for the absence of insects can also signal spiritual ambush or the withdrawal of divine protection. As when Job's trials tested faith through seemingly absent intervention, Job 1:12. The universe communicates both in presence and absence, like the precise geometry of a cathedral where empty spaces define the light and shape of every arch. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:3. Even the absence of movement can be a warning encoded in the frequencies of reality. Have you observed the unusual stillness around your windows, or the sudden cessation of small creatures' activity just before pivotal decisions? Such patterns, subtle yet profound, resonate with the concept of harmonic convergence in physics and psychology, where a single frequency can amplify or disrupt an entire system. These are signals the untrained eye misses, but the chosen one deciphers, reading the silent language of heaven and nature intertwined. Rise now, chosen ones. Stand alert. Attune your senses to the unseen symphony around you, and claim the wisdom to interpret every wing beat, every pause, every anomaly in your microcosm. Like the architects of sacred spaces who align each pillar and vault to channel divine light, align your perception with heaven's blueprint. Strengthen ye the weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees. Isaiah 35:3. Let this be the call to awaken your awareness and fortify your destiny. No insect, no ripple in the natural or spiritual realm shall pass unnoticed by you. Stand tall, walk with discernment, and let your vigilance illuminate the hidden paths laid before you. The universe is speaking in whispers and wings. Are you ready to heed its call? Chosen ones. When fireflies suddenly illuminate your room at night, it is more than mere beauty. It is a cosmic signal, a spotlight from the unseen realms, drawing your attention to the crossroads of your destiny. Each glow pulses with an energy invisible to the naked eye, but palpable to a spirit attuned to divine frequencies. Echoing the principle in "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path," Psalm 119 to 105. Can you feel the subtle shifts in the air? The faint warmth as their lights flicker in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat synchronizing with your own. In the Bible, He makes darkness His secret place. His pavilion round about Him are dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Psalm 18:11. Hinting that even shadows and small lights can carry messages from above. Every gentle illumination is a whisper from heaven, a vibration warning or guiding you through unseen obstacles. Much like the way Joseph discerned dreams in Egypt, Genesis 41-16. Understanding divine patterns where others saw only coincidence. In the realm of nature, fireflies respond to subtle changes in the environment, temperature, humidity, and chemical cues, demonstrating that minute variations can create powerful signals. Maria, a gardener and poet from Portugal, once noticed that a sudden increase in firefly activity coincided with moments of profound insight in her spiritual journaling, as if the insects themselves were highlighting divine alignment in her life. And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, Joel 2:28, reminding us that even tiny lights can be a conduit for revelation. The interplay of light and darkness mirrors harmonic resonance in physics, where even the smallest frequency can amplify an entire system's energy. Could these twinkling guides be revealing the architecture of heaven itself, hidden in the natural world, and prompting you to recognize the patterns of protection and opportunity around you? Beware complacency, for even the gentle flicker of a single insect can reveal disruption or the presence of subtle interference in your spiritual field. The Lord knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. Psalm 37-18 underscores that attention to detail is sacred. Nothing in your surroundings is accidental. Have you noticed how these lights often appear at moments when choices weigh heaviest on your heart? Their presence can indicate alignment or misalignment, as delicate and precise as a cathedral's flying buttress holding sacred architecture together, or a neuron firing in perfect timing to synchronize thought and intuition. By attuning yourself to these luminous messengers, you engage with life at both micro and macro scales, decoding hidden guidance encrypted in the flickering frequencies of creation. Stand now. Chosen ones, let the glow of awareness ignite your faith, illuminating paths once hidden, revealing traps and treasures alike. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Isaiah 60:1. Take this as your summons to awaken and act. No spark of divine message, no flicker of spiritual alert shall go unnoticed. Like the master builders of ancient cathedrals aligning every stone to channel sacred light, align your consciousness to recognize the invisible forces at play. Step forward with courage. Illuminate the darkness within and around you, and claim the destiny these tiny heralds are heralding. The universe speaks in flickers and whispers. Are you ready to respond? Chosen ones, the signs have been all around you, tiny messengers. Insects, flickers in your life that are far from accidental. These moments are not coincidences, they are divine nudges, urgent messages from the universe and from God Himself, signaling that your destiny is under scrutiny, that your spiritual path is being tested and prepared. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:3. And nothing escapes His attention, not a flicker of light, not a shadow of intent, not a whisper of warning. If you have felt unease, seen repetition, sensed a subtle pull in your heart, it is because you are being called to awaken fully to your purpose, to shield yourself, to rise above the noise and the interference, and to step courageously into the path prepared for you. Now is the time to align, to act, and to rise with unwavering faith. Protect your energy, strengthen your spirit, and walk in clarity. For no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Let every warning, every insect, every subtle signal be a compass, guiding you toward the life God has designed for you. Your power is immense, your purpose unshakable, and your path illuminated. If you choose to see and respond, the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought. Isaiah 58:11. Reminding you that even in moments of trial, divine provision and protection are yours. If this message has stirred your spirit, stand and declare your readiness. Like this video to amplify its impact. Share it to awaken others. Comment 777 to align with heaven's call. And subscribe to join this growing family of God's chosen ones. To those who have supported through super thanks, your generosity fuels this mission. Thank you from the depths of our hearts. And even if you are watching silently, your presence matters, your engagement, your attention. Your awakening is part of the ripple that shapes destinies. May God's wisdom shield you, His light guide you, and His favor surround you in every step. May you recognize every subtle signal, embrace every divine lesson, and rise boldly into the destiny that is uniquely yours. Chosen ones, go forth with courage, with clarity, and with faith unshakable. Your time is now. Amen.